then I'll jump on a stone or a diamond plate. Hope that made sense. All right, so now I'm gonna do some polishing. So I'm gonna just work a little bit here on the edge to try and get that haze off that I know is there in a microscopic level. Try and do full strokes here from heel to tip. I do like a 45 degree for most of my sharpening. So I'll be working like this, right? And I'll push up and down. You can work forward to back if you want, but that's gonna create a moat here, so don't do that. Work up and down your stone nice and evenly like that. You can switch your angle out depending on your ergonomics. And notice I completely am almost perpendicular here. It's because I'm doing the knife towards the tip. All the way to the point of this knife. I'm gonna slide back and forth, putting a decent amount of pressure, but really trying to master my angle. I'm trying to work part of this stone that I'm completely ignoring here. And go back up. And like I said, periodically flip your stones. You do wanna wear them evenly. Let's get on this side. Make sure your stone is wet. This is just a regular spray bottle with just water. Remember guys, sometimes you gotta work just the tip. Anybody here in this live work just the tip? Make sure that you have this perfectly sharp tip. That's exactly the shape that you want for cutting maybe vegetables and things. Trisha, you get it. Everybody wants to see a bread knife on this live. This live has a trillion people asking for a bread knife. And I think what everybody's getting at is they're getting at how the hell, hey Matt, how the hell do you sharpen a serrated edge? And that's a very good question. And some of you guys might even have run into the issues of you sent your serrated edge, or you've called companies like Kai or Spyderco or whoever, Henkel's, and you said, hey, I've got a serrated edge knife. How do I sharpen it? The real answer is you can't just sharpen a serrated edge very easily. It needs a special machine or a special tool to do by hand. But by no means is it easy. So sometimes if you just use a buffing wheel with some metal compound, that can be the best way to sharpen it because it can get into those little grooves. Sharpening a serrated edge on a stone like this is a no-no. It's not gonna make any sense. You can sharpen the back, if it's a single serrated edge, you can sharpen the backside, and that will get you a sharper edge, or a better cutting edge, but that's technically not the way to do it. You're going to wanna use a coned honing steel, a diamond dusted coned honing steel. For those of you that want to see that, the link's in my bio. I know a lot of you already follow me, but if you don't follow me, you'll have to go to my bio. You might as well follow me while you're doing it. Follow me, go to the link in my bio. You'll see my favorites list and you'll see sharpening and whetstones. Look at this, the sharpening and whetstones component of it. And you'll see there's a little hand, like a rod like this, but it's very small. There's a handle, and then you're gonna see the rod, and it's a cone, which means a conical shape is this. These edges are parallel. A conical shape is where towards the end, they're gonna come together to a point. So what that means is all the way down along the edge from the base, all the way here to the tip, you're gonna see that the circumference here is wider and greater than it is at the end. And what you're gonna do, I might as well pull mine out. You guys probably wanna see this. I'm gonna show you, I'll show you the one that I have. Where is it? I've got it here, guys, don't worry. It's coming, I think. We got at least a 50% chance here. It's definitely nearby. I had it yesterday on yesterday's live. Oh, I'd love to show it to you. Guys, you might have to just go to the link in my bio. I apologize, and look for it because I don't see it. I don't see it right in front of me right now. But essentially, it's this little tool that's got a conical edge to it. I'm gonna look for another 2 seconds here. Crap. I need to get more organized at this split second. I have like 80 knives, almost 100 knives maybe in the van, and I need to work on that. But go ahead and look at it. It's conical. And that tool is what you're gonna use for serrated edges. Do you know where that tool is, Dan? The little conical tool? No, the serrated edge knife sharpener. It's a little rubber handled one. Watch, now I'm gonna need it and not find it. I'll have to buy another one. Anyway, that's a good tool for you guys to try. If you can get your hands on one. It's a little black handled tool, but oh, here it is. Guess what, everybody? For those of you who didn't leave this live, here it is. So you notice how it's like a honing rod, but like I said, it's conical. Thanks for the cake. Notice how it is a smaller diameter circumference going towards the edge. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna take out your serrated knife and you're literally gonna find the correct edge, the correct width. So like that, and then in here it'll be smaller. You really need to be on the exact correct angle. So this is not for just anybody. You will screw this knife up. You need to be at the correct angle. You might wanna put your knife in a vise. So if you lock this in a vise, you can take this at an angle and go right into those grooves at the correct angle and sharpen it. And then you might want to hone it after, but I sharpened this myself. I think I did a very good job. It's extremely sharp. But I will say, for those of you who are new to this, please use a knife that you don't care as much about. I'd hate for you to learn on a knife that you love, screw it up, and then have to pay somebody a lot of money to fix. So guys, please be careful and sharpen correctly and carefully. What is a quick of sharpening for you? I don't know what that means. What are the quick of what sharpening for you? Please re-put your answers in there. Any tips you have in keeping the angle? Yes, muscle memory. Put this knife down like this, take your thumb and your fingers, and make sure that you can slide back and forth without moving it. If you notice a little bit of wobble because you're wobbling in your wrist, you need to lock your wrist. Tape your wrist if you have to. That's a big one there. If you want to tape your wrist with athletic tape so that it doesn't wobble, it will really help you to support your knife edge at the right angle throughout. And then after a while, you won't have to tape it. If you were to take a wrist guard, right, for people that sprain their wrist, if you were to put a wrist guard on when you do this, you would really help out your muscles so they don't have to do the work. So if while you're learning and building those muscles, you have them get a little bit of help, although they're still working, that's really gonna help build them without hurting them while you do this. For a lot of you, you're starting to sharpen knives a lot, you're watching a bunch of my lives, and you might even be developing like a light carpal tunnel syndrome. That's when you know you need to take a little bit of a break. And you notice I'm gonna flip the stone 180 degrees so I wear out the stone evenly. That was a tip that I gave everybody earlier. But yeah, be careful. You don't wanna develop carpal tunnel syndrome. Whenever you have some pain in your wrists, you might want to just stop. Stop, ice your wrists, and until those muscles and ligaments and tendons get very strong and can support the activity you're doing, just take it easy, guys. Don't hurt yourself. Remember, I've been doing this a lot. Lately, I've been doing like 2, maybe even 3 knives a day on these lives. So my muscles, tendons, ligaments, they're all in good shape for this. So just take your time and progress slowly and safely. I can already tell this knife's actually getting pretty sharp because it's very smooth on this surface. I can feel as I slide from the heel all the way to the tip that I'm really, really not bouncing. It's not making a ton of sound, which means it's very smooth. And yes, this is just water. Let's do a quick paper test on this, and I'm gonna clean off my stone here. There's actually a lot of steel building up there. Make sure in my little holder, I'm gonna get the water out. So let's go ahead and dry this knife. Let's do a quick cut test. Everybody down for that? Paper, oh yeah, I see it in the comments. You guys do want that. I'm also gonna take a sec to thank everybody who's taken the time and chosen to follow my account. I appreciate your follows. I appreciate your support. I really appreciate you sharing this live. I also appreciate all of your awesome comments, and thanks for spending some time with me. This is fun for me as well to help you guys, and it's fun to answer questions. So thanks for that. All right, we're gonna go heel to tip, and we can see here, the edge is getting much more mirrored, much more polished. I'm gonna have to strop it to get it even better. Holy crap, this is so much better than I expected for such a inexpensive knife. Holy crap, what do you guys think? It's not that bad. I wonder if I can do a straight push cut. And it can't push cut really well, but it's getting there. That's pretty good. All right, let's take all this paper off of our surface. All right, I'm going to teach you guys something that is very important, and that is how to use a honing steel. Some of you know, some of you don't know, some of you have them and have no freaking clue what the hell they're for, and they're sitting in your knife block. And yeah, this is probably an Amazon knife. It's not expensive. Today, I just wanted to take this inexpensive knife and see just how sharp I can get it. So I'm going to take it at the same angle, the same degree, which is about 16 degrees. Half of a pound, quarter pound of pressure here, folks. Almost nothing. I'm just making sure this edge is aligned and straight throughout the entire knife. As I'm cutting paper, or eventually, let's say I cut bluefin tuna, I want to make sure that through the entire stroke of the edge of that blade, it is contiguous and straight. That's going to give me those even cuts that I'm not going to have to really work for and saw. So now that I've done this, I'm going to take another piece of the exact same type of paper, and let's see how it is now. It's very smooth. Look at this, all nice and tight and close. Let's clean that up. Look at this, all nice and close. All right, ready? As I cut through the paper, what I'm looking for as a knife sharpener is, are there any crazy wire hairs and crazy pulp that's coming off of this? Any crazy burr that is forming on the paper? Not the knife, but is there like a crazy burr on the paper, or is it coming out clean? I should be able to take the knife and make a clean cut and then analyze that cut and say, okay, can I cut the edge of this piece of paper, there you go, cleanly? Because really this is just a reflection of how, yes, the paper is made, yes, on a molecular level, but also how my edge is on the knife. So take your time. Yes, look at, oh my God, Ralph Wiggum's alter ego. I love your comment. I say this to people all the time. Do not sharpen on the steel like a ding dong. If you see, and I'm not calling Gordon Ramsay a ding dong, but he is a showman. So as a showman, he's like, as fast as he can. He wants to destroy the edge of his knife because it looks awesome online. Nice and slow. The angle, at the correct angle, at the correct pressure, consistently on the entire edge of the knife. That's how you hone the edge of a blade. No one can argue this that knows what they're talking about. Even Gordon Ramsay would not disagree with me. He would also say, yes, I do it like a psychopath on TV because people like to see that crap on TV. You sharpen towards you, away. Guys, for all, this is another tip. Most of you do not know this, and I love talking about this one. So here's a good example. Here's a Wusthof honing steel. Look at the tip of this honing steel. What do you guys notice? It comes to a point. Why isn't it rounded, some people would say. The reason why it comes to a point right here on your honing steel, what it's for is it's for this. I'm going to show you. You'll take this, I hope the camera works this, but you'll basically take your cutting board like this. You'll put this directly upright, directly up and down, and you will literally, this is a way to do it for newer people, you literally take your edge so you can see it from above, and you will cut on your way down like that. Then you'll come on the other side and you will cut on your way down like that. And you will do this for your whatever, 5-10 strokes on each side. And this is a great way to calmly get that angle correct and consistent over both sides. So for you, those of you who are new, you might want to do it like this for a while, because yes, eventually the way that the steel was intended, and they do have guards and every single guard is different, but essentially they have this like flat spot here, so you'll hold it like this, and that way if you were to slip, you would slip like that and it would hit right here into that plastic. That's what that's for. But eventually, yes, from heel to tip. Guys, if you're using a 10-inch knife, this is a small steel. You might not want to use a little steel like that. Me, of course, you know me, I've got every freaking size in the world. You're gonna want to pull out a longer steel. So watch this, and I love this guy. Look at those big badass guards. This is in my Amazon store as well, but big badass guards, and that way you can hide your fingers right behind them. So as you're using your steel, you come nowhere even near the bottom of this thing. You're just like working at the top. So it's even safer. So you might want a couple different steels for all of you guys at home. And another huge tip, for all of you guys who are chefs and cookers, you guys might like this. Look what I got. Go to Home Depot, grab some of this little poly or rubber or nylon, whatever the hell hose this is. It's really durable and it doesn't want to bend. Guess how I store my rod? Just like that. That way, as they're getting beat up and all this stuff on the way, I'm not beating up these. Look at this. You guys see these little grooves, these little parallel grooves here? If you start putting dings and dents and all this crap in that, Imagine what dings and dents in steel is going to do to that insanely small edge as you're using your steel. It's going to destroy that perfect edge that you just did. Chef Gig, you put yours in vinegar. Wonderful idea. The reason they're doing that, everybody, vinegar is highly acidic. That high acid percentage is going to break down not only the gunk and grime on the edge of the steel, but it's also going to remove some of the oxidation and rust if that were to be on the steel. But always take these and wash them with mild soap and water. Dry them off with a towel like that. Make sure they're really, really clean. Thank you, the David One. This is what it's supposed to look like. Very clean, pretty much new. They should never look anything but new. Even 50 years later, they should look new. This one right here, I'll bet you this is a 45-year-old one. This one's been in my family, actually. Looks brand new. I use this all the freaking time. I even reconditioned the handle. Thank you for the rose, appreciate that. But this is one that I've had forever. I mean, like in the cracks. Maybe you see a little bit of wear in the cracks, but it's almost nothing. I take care of this freaking thing. And you can too. This thing came out, I did have to epoxy it back in, and then I refinished the handle with a poly coating. I think it came out great. I think it looks brand new. So this thing is super, super old. K Munt 109, aren't those for honing, not sharpening? You are 100% correct. We're talking about honing, taking care of your edge. But I want to show you guys a little secret. Most of you will not know this. Most of you will not have ever seen this. Some of you have. This steel right here, it looks just like a honing steel, right? It looks like maybe some of these guys. However, look very closely and check this out. This is a cool little cheat here. That is diamond dust. Diamond dust on the entire surface of this rod. So that makes this a sharpening rod. The reason it's called a sharpening rod is I remove metal from the edge of my knife. So if you're in the field and you're like, look, I just want to keep it simple, you could literally bring 1 and 1, and you could sharpen your knife and hone it in the same little, you know, whatever the heck small. This is smaller than my arms. You can throw that in a backpack. So this is a great combo here. I do not have a link to this in my store. This one also has been in my family for a long time, but I'm gonna go find a diamond one, and I'm gonna put that in my whetstone section on my Amazon list because it is a great option. Thanks so much. See you on breakfast time. Catch you later. See you, Chef. So that's a cool little trick there, but just know when you guys are buying steels, if you see the diamonds on here, unless it's an insanely fine diamond, that it's going to be removing metal. Whereas this guy really isn't going to be removing metal as much. I mean, it does, but it's very minimal. It's really just aligning the edge. So that's the difference. Ryland37, can you please make YouTube videos? Bro, I make some YouTube videos. They don't have anything to do with knife sharpening. You're right, I should do that. I know a lot of people follow me here on TikTok and they're like, where the hell are your YouTubes on this and all your other stuff? I should probably do that. I've been talking to my wife about a few ideas that I have about content that that's revolve around sharpening. So I do have some more cool ideas and I will be putting those out there soon. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. You'd love to see more tutorials? Yeah, I appreciate the support, man. Notice that I've now honed this thing. I just want to show you this. Look how much cleaner these freaking cuts are. It's literally night and day. Look at this. Let's see, in focus. Can you guys hear it? Complete difference just in the sound. I mean, look at that. Look at that edge. Completely clear. I hate cutting people's heads off, I feel bad. So watch, I'm gonna just take this and roll this up a little bit and watch how I can slide in and out of paper, of a flat sheet of paper. Look at that hole. You can only do that with a really sharp knife that has a really nice fine tooth on the edge. You can also shave with this at this point. You can probably also cut into a fingernail, do the fingernail test. I don't do any of that stuff on TikTok anymore because TikTok says it's not safe to show you guys that. But yeah, absolutely razor sharp. And this is with an El Cheapo knife. I think we've gotten there. This is, wow, this is a little wet, sorry. This guy is ready to go. This is as good as we need to get it to. You have the wrong generation here, bro. What does that mean? FX, this shitto. What do you mean the wrong generation? What generation is this? Is there only one generation on TikTok? How old is everybody here on TikTok? I'll bet you we have 65-year-olds, 80-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 10-year-olds. I'm really curious. Dagan, what up? You're doing it wrong. 34, 22, 26. What are the grid of your last down? 35, 56, 21, 47. 15, 14, 19, 18, 35, 26, 32. We got the huge span. So that's awesome, guys. I'm 41, so I've been doing this a long time, and I know there's a ton of you. I don't care what your age is. Knives are freaking cool. Knives have been in vogue and in the zeitgeist of society since knives were invented. Everyone loves knives. Everyone uses knives. I mean, I don't know who doesn't use a knife. Even if you use scissors, you use knives. That's actually 2 knives at once you're using. So I think, holy shit, this edge is fucking way sharper, way keener than I thought we were gonna get. I'm not gonna lie. This is an El Cheapo. I got it to be, I'm not gonna call it a scalpel because that's giving it too much credit. It's definitely a razor. This is definitely as sharp as a razor blade. I have no idea how long it will stay sharp in the kitchen, given that it is a little bit of a softer steel, but I think there is a decent amount of carbon in here. I don't know if you noticed this, but see that on the bottom? What are we reading? Japan. So this knife was made in Japan. They make cheap knives too, like inexpensive, I should call it. Inexpensive knives too. It's a pretty decent one. The handle's funky monkey though, look at that. So normally you're gonna hold up this high. I would actually take my sander or file and sand all that down or file all that down so I can really grab this properly and better. They're really kind of making a handle that you hold like this, which, I mean, I don't care, that's fine. And if you're using this as a large slicer or whatever, that's fine. But normally you're gonna wanna hold it up here. I might actually make a whole TikTok of why you hold your knife like this. So, please read my comment, it's a must-have. Is this good for Halloween? Yes, Case Chase, this is wonderful for Halloween. It's Halloween approved, actually. It just got its certification for Halloween approved yesterday. So, yes, that's an important one. Split hairs and old wives' tale, actually, well, what it means is to literally take a hair and can you just like put it right on the edge and split the hair? And yes, you can make a hair splitting edge where it will literally split. I wonder, do we have any hair? Babe, do you have a comb? Let's take my wife's. I don't know if it'll do it. Like I said, this is a good knife, but it's not fantastic. The problem we're gonna have here is can you even see it? Can you see that hair? Let's see if this even works. Oh God, I don't even know, like, this isn't gonna work because there's a fan on me and all of that stuff, but yes, you could cut hair with this, absolutely. What grit did I start with? I started with 400 grit on this one, and I worked up from there. This is a knife that I want to do next. That's an interesting one that I got. Does anyone have questions about steels? Any more questions specifically about honing steels? Throw those in the comment. Also, here, I'm going to put the serrated guy in here so you guys can see that too. But throw some of the questions you guys have, and I'll try to get to them right now. What grit should you start with? Whatever grit you need to take off enough metal, so that could be 400. That knife is definitely Halloween approved. Yes, for sure. It is Halloween approved. You could carve a pumpkin probably pretty easy. Yeah, for those of you carving pumpkins, guys, sharpen your knives before. You should not have a knife that's not sharp while carving a pumpkin. People cut their hands all the time using dull, cheap, crappy knives. So make sure that even if you have a cheap, crappy knife, at least make sure it's not dull and sharpen it up. You guys can go into my link. There's my link tree. There's my Amazon list, and you can see a bunch of whetstone sharpeners and different things. All that stuff is good. I didn't put anything bad in there. So if you buy it from there, it's Matt approved. It's good stuff. Sharp knife is a safe knife, Chris says, 100%. Logan, correct to Strangeling. If you just want one stone, 1,000 grit is a pretty good overall stone to get, but to be honest, it's really hard to just own one stone. They can't do everything. I would suggest have 3 grits. Have something like 3 to 400, have something like 1,000, 2,000, and have something like 5 to 8,000. And you need to have a honing steel, and I highly suggest you buy a Nagura for your stones. I think then you're covered. Can low quality stainless get really sharp? 8 and 100%. This is a cheap, less expensive, right? I wouldn't call it low quality. So let's get into that. If we're gonna say, does low quality get sharp? Yes, you can get it pretty sharp. Can you get it as sharp as a high carbon steel? No, you cannot. Factually, scientifically, physically, you cannot. But is it sharp enough to cut potatoes and cut food? 100%. You have 8 stones and still want more. Cynic 7734, bro. It never ends. Or I mean, it's an addiction, a fascination, a hobby. It has a lot of utility. It's pragmatic. It's all of these things wrapped up in one. What a great way to spend your money. I agree. And guys, for all of those of you who've chosen to follow me on this live today, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Trisha Spitzer, hopefully you followed me. I'd love to see you again. Your comments were awesome. Which two grits would you recommend when working on at a meat plant? I think it depends where you are in the meat plant, but your knives are probably pretty sharp already. You're probably not gonna have to do too much corrective. So I'm gonna say 1,000, 3,000. That's probably, and actually Kai makes a 1,000, 3,000 like this. It's a great combination stone. Can you show us a high carbon stainless steel knife? Yes, I can. Let's see. Yes, hold on one sec. This is one of my single bevel Japanese knives. This is called a Yanagiba. This is a insanely high carbon steel knife. I have to correct this because it has a little bit of rust and pitting, but this was almost like this was a semi-mirror polish when I finished it a long time ago, and I put it away. Do you guys notice all that superficial rust and oxidation? Even look on the edge. Guys, I've not stored this knife as good as I should. I should have put a little bit of oil on it. I wish I did, but I didn't. So I do have to like sharpen and polish this knife again. This isn't that big of a deal, but if I let this sit there for months and months and months or years on end, then yes, it will be a big deal and it could be permanent damage. But for right now, it just looks a little ugly, but this knife is still insanely sharp. Even with all this rust and junk on it and oxidation, you can still take a piece of paper and slice through it like it is literally non-existent. So, and you can even do a roll cut with this. This knife I did get pretty darn sharp, and you cut in and out and all those fun things. This guy wants to bend on me. I'm holding it like crap, and there's a little bit of water in my hands, so I apologize for that. But overall, super, super sharp still, but I'm not gonna lie, it needs a bunch of work. So that's high carbon steel. This is a carbon steel, not even a high carbon. It's a high carbon stainless, yes, but really not so much. It's more just high carbon. All right, have you ever sharpened a Deba knife? Any tips? And for those of you like, what the hell is this guy talking about? This is a Deba knife, and yes, the tips are this. Make sure you understand how to sharpen a single bevel edge first. This is actually not a flat edge, this is concave. On the right side, let me see if I can get this for you guys. I'm gonna have to do a little trick here, I think with black. Notice on the right side, we have a completely almost flat edge. It's actually concave, meaning it dishes out. And then we have a single bevel or a chisel grind on the left side. You guys notice that? So this is what's known as a traditional Japanese single bevel knife. So this you would sharpen just like a Deba. I would say, you know, read some books, watch some videos. I actually have some really good books in my on my Amazon store. Really good books that are on sharpening and also just knives in general. Watch YouTube's. If I'm doing a live and I'm doing a single bevel, watch me. And I would watch a bunch before you try your first Deba or Yanagiba or something like that. Take some time. What is a high quality knife? Do you want me to define what a high quality knife is, or do you want me to tell you the simple brand of one quality knife? If you're asking for a simple brand and you just want to go buy one and you want to spend under $200, go buy yourself this knife right here. This is a hollowed edge. It's a 7-inch Santoku, or Granton edge as some people call this. This is a Shun Classic 7-inch Santoku. Wonderful blade right here. So I would say this is a high quality knife for under 200 bucks. The link is in my bio to my Amazon list, so you can check it out, read the details, see if it's right for you. Ralph wins, those are terrible for your knife. I wonder what Ralph asked. Ralph said, one of where you pull the blade through it. Oh my God, yes, thank you. Here we go. I have one of these to show everybody. See this right here? These are carbide blocks, and these are ceramic rods. And essentially what this is you would take a blade and put it through the left and pull through the carbide, then pull through and hone it on this ceramic. I have one of these. Why did I buy this? For one, it's to show everybody on TikTok, but I bought this because I have a certain machete that's for yard work that I sharpen with this because I just want to get the stupid thing sharp enough and then go and hack at some freaking weeds. Do not ever use something like this or anything that looks like this. So the concept of this on any sort of knife that is over $20, honestly, you will destroy your knives. They're horrible for it. So thank you for that comment, and thank you for backing and for helping answer that comment to that person. But yeah, these are they're not good, guys. If you have a nice knife, holy crap! If you have like a $200 knife and then you go buy something like this, Even if they sell you something like this and it's $200 itself for this stupid thing, don't freaking use it. Give it back to the guy, return it. It is garbage for your knives. Learn how to sharpen knives in a whetstone, or find someone like me or someone nearby and you pay them to do it. Find a friend who'll do it for free like me. Like if you're my buddy, I love sharpening knives, I will sharpen your knives in your house for free. Just find someone like that. Someone says it worked perfectly for me. You might not be as sensitive to the details of your knife to know that it didn't work perfectly. It was just good enough for you, which is great. And there's no insult here. If it worked good enough for you, perfect. But I don't want people to think that this is like a good substitute for sharpening this way. What do you use to sharpen the knife with the hole that you have on the right side? This is called a cleaver. This is interesting because this is actually a convex edge. Notice how it's completely different shape here, folks. It's like rounded all the way to the edge. So this is a convex edge. This you should be using like a belt sander or some other device that's made for that type of edge. But if you just have like another type of cleaver like this, you're gonna notice that this is a much, let me see if I can show you, much simpler edge, and you can sharpen this very easy, and I already sharpened this guy. These don't need to be sharpened too much. They just need to be good and sharp. But really, these are hacking instruments where you're literally using the weight of this massive spine here, and you're literally using the weight of the knife to do the work and cut through bone. That's what this is for, is processing, cutting through bones, massive amounts of meat, maybe cutting off heads when you're going through spine on fish or different types of game, or meats that you're processing as a professional butcher or a butcher just in your house. Most people don't have these. If you do have these, I'll bet you don't use it often. But for those of you that do have these and use it, good for you. Isn't it just a utility edge with cheap sharpeners? Yeah, basically it's just like, hey, this is kind of like I just need my knife to be sharper than it was 5 seconds ago, but it's still not that sharp and refined, and I don't mind ripping a ton of metal off every time I sharpen it. I don't care how long my knife lasts. Yes, if that's what a utility edge is, that's what these were built for. These take off so much freaking metal in such a disgusting form out of the bottom of this. I should do a whole TikTok. Would you guys want to? That'd be badass. I should do a TikTok where I show you what the edge looks like coming out of this tool and what it looks like coming off of a whetstone. Those are good to rebevel a blade for real sharpening. Honestly, no, I don't agree with you. These are hacky pieces of crap that haphazardly cut your stuff up. Get a grinder if you want to rebevel an edge before you work on it. A grinder is way better. Your angle grinder, your cordless angle grinder at home is way better and far better than putting a new edge on than this thing is. What other questions you guys got? Otherwise, I'm going to jump off here. I know there's tons of questions, but throw some at me. Thank you guys. For those of you who have chosen to follow me today, I appreciate the support. Thank you